Welcome to Off the Ranch. We had a bit of an ice storm come through a couple days ago. It was pretty awesome. Check out these random phone clips that I got over the last couple days. So then, a bunch of trees started breaking, and we moved all the little limbs so far. Well, all the little limbs that were in the way, but there's one big tree that fell across the road. I'm gonna start this thing up, and we'll go move it. And then, I had a change of heart about the water tank situation we got going on. Speaking of water, look at that. This thing used to have a door on it, and then I got all scratched up, and I haven't ordered a new door yet. I just took it off. I really need to get a door. It's getting gross in here. Oh, my screen's got water in there too. I need to take better care of my stuff. That looks pretty good so far. Oh, a little bitty stick, not a big deal. Crushed. Oh yeah, that looks like more of a big deal, but not a big deal to me because I'm the strongest man in the world, and I have a bobcat. Done. Now we got a nice open path where we can drive. Come chop that up and burn it or mulch it or something later. Now, this was a great idea, using gravity to feed down like 40 feet. It wasn't actually that great of an idea. It was an okay idea, but I decided I'm gonna make it way simpler. Also, I don't know that I need to fill up the fire truck anymore, which that was one of the main reasons for this. I'll tell you why more later. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this right here. Okay, problem solved. Now I just need to take this down. We're gonna put it actually right down by the pew-pew range. Here's what I'm thinking. So I wanna put this under here because I don't think I'll ever have to fill it if I use rainwater off this little roof. So I put some gutters on the back of that, pipe it right into there. This is a 500-gallon tank. I think it'll just stay full. We shouldn't need a water hose down here very much. I really just wanted to put out fires because you can see it's a heavily wooded area, and we do some things down here that, yeah, could result in a fire. So I was thinking, be good to have water down here, and my plan was, it was up there, and you can see that pipe coming down there. It was to pipe it all the way down there, and then I wanted it to end up high so we could also fill the fire truck. I don't think that's gonna be an issue anymore. And I was worried about the gravity feed. I also was having to think, like, I'm gonna have to go up there and fill that tank all the time if we ever use it. Whereas if it was here, we could fill it if we needed to, or we could just let nature slowly refill this, and it probably will keep it topped off with the amount we would actually use water down here, which is not a lot. The problem with this is we were using free power there with gravity. It would just run it straight down the hill. Here, obviously, gravity won't work. It'll dump it on the ground. We need it to power water hose. So I bought a pump. So this is just a little 12-volt pump, so it can hook up to a battery, and it says it'll do 70 PSI, 5 gallons per minute. I don't know if that's enough. We'll see, but it wasn't too expensive, so I just ordered it online, came in today, and I'm going to try to hook it up. It's got kind of a small lumen on the inside of these things, so I am worried about that for water hose, but I don't know. I've never tried this, so I'm going to try to hook it up in line, and we'll just hook up a battery to it and see how much flow it actually has and see if it has enough power to pump through a 50-foot, maybe 100-foot water hose and have enough pressure to like spray it. We're gonna find out. This is all experimental. You guys who have done this are gonna be like, nah, man, that's dumb. You should have done XYZ pump. But listen, I'm learning. I'll do what I can do. Pausing from water pump stuff right now. We gotta do some vehicle stuff. The Corvette, it's sold. Put it on eBay. We got tons of fake bids. I learned you can't post or selling something on eBay because we got a lot of fake bids, which was annoying. But the guy who won it was a real bidder, and he paid me already. He actually needs me to keep the car for a little bit because he is building a shop right now and doesn't have room to keep it. But he's awesome. He actually watched the entire build of this car a few years ago when we did it, And his name's Kurt, and he's super pumped to get a ZR1 in his life. So this thing is sold and paid for. We're just gonna probably keep it for like a month or two until he's ready. We're gonna put a cover on it, put on a lift, it'll be good. That is a good thing. Let me show you a bad thing. So I was driving this the other day. Yeah, you can see down in there, there's more. This is not good. So we're gonna pull the engine out, try to figure out why there's glitter inside there. Before we get to the engine, check out this little drive shaft, which this is already they call it a two-piece drive shaft?
Yeah, it's a two-piece drive shaft. It has a carrier bearing in the middle.
Inside.
So it's just a straight fixed length here. And then the rear section has to pivot down, but also it has to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you can tell something is different here, right? This doesn't look like your typical drive shaft.
Yeah, so it has to change in length about 6 inches because of the change in length of the drive shaft. As the axle moves up, you can see it would move to about here. And so it has these springs that keep this centered, and then there are like spline shafts on each end. So the whole thing can expand a lot.
Which normal axles go up and down a little bit, and so there is a little bit of play in a normal driveline, but this one, obviously the back end raises a ton, so there has to be a lot more play. So there's all these just kind of weird lowrider things going on back here. But we got to get that out, and exhaust is already unhooked. We got a bunch of the fluids unhooked and drained. We got to just start pulling bolts and get this broken thing out of here. What do you think it's going to be?
Rod bearing. Almost.
Think so?
It's a rod bearing.
Which is maybe fixable, maybe needs to go have some bigger work. We'll see. This is a good example of how much the axle moves. Watch this. Yeah, and then of course if it went, it's rolling! And then of course if it went lower, it moved more. Burke's going to work on getting that on an engine stand and then pulling the oil pan off and trying to figure out what's going on, while I have been over here trying to figure out this. I actually moved this because it was just huge and taking up a ton of room under our covered area. And there's been times where we've had like 10 dudes out here, and if it's a rainy day like today, you can hear that there is rain hitting this roof right now. Just, it's drizzly. And so we will actually make videos out here when it's like this, because it's not bad, and you know, we'll have the pew-pews under cover, and we'll be under cover if it like gets harder. Kind of want to not waste all the room with this giant tank, so I put it next to it, which I think is fine. You don't want light getting in these things because it'll grow algae, and so we just need to paint that or cover it. Probably just paint it black, I would guess. But I think I'm gonna put it there. I need to try to level the ground a little better. And then I was toying with the idea of the pump right here. I can screw it right into the concrete right there, and it'll stay. I thought about putting it on this pole, but I'm worried it'll kind of buzz the whole thing if it's on there. So in concrete, it'll be nice and quiet, I think. And I'll flip the tank around. So basically this will plug into our tank, and it'll come right here and pressurize water here. And then I think I'm gonna pipe the water underground going that way and put my hose over on that post up front there. And basically you just turn it on and this thing should power itself. It should turn itself on whenever it realizes that a valve is open and the pressure drops. It turns it on to up that pressure. First things first, I'm gonna dig a trench next to there that I can run a pipe underground, because I want to try to make this look clean. This is a stupid gun range, but like I want it to look, you know, not too terrible. So I'm gonna try to hide the pipes as much as possible. I am done. I decided I was overthinking it and I didn't need to bury a pipe yet. I just need to test that this thing actually works. So I went ahead, got that clear flexi pipe to get to that because I didn't have another connector to hook to PVC easily. And then I just went straight into a PVC pipe and a little hose bib here. So I need a battery and I need water. But first, let's go check out the Impala engine and see what we got over there. We just pulled the oil pan off this thing. Let me see. Yeah, you can see a big chunk of metal down there. So we got problems. Here's our problem. So these should be really tight. So this is your crankshaft here and it should be really tight. But this one, you can hear it clunking. So that one is loose, which means that our bearing is not tight around the crankshaft anymore, which is kind of what Burke suspected. All the other ones seem fine. And he also pointed out that this one is darker. So you can see how this one is not. Probably, obviously just overheated and changed the color of that metal a little bit, but we got a big problem. So likely will need to be machined. We'll open it up, see what it looks like. This engine is the 6.0 LS that came out of the armored Suburban. We've never been into the bottom end of this. We put new heads on it. These heads actually were the first heads that we had on it was on the 416 that was in the El Camino. These are the heads that Cletus got us that we ruined when we ruined the engine. We sent it all back to Texas Speed. They went through everything, got us, you know, all set up to be on this 6.0. And we've never been into the bottom end of this, but this engine only had 3,000 miles or something on it, because it was in an armored Suburban from, what year was it? Was it a 2000?
2010.
Oh yeah, that's right, it was a 2010. So it had 3,000 miles on it. So fairly new as far as mileage goes, but was an old engine. But something we did on the last run made it not happy. Yep, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. So you can catch a fingernail on all those grooves in there.
Yeah. Probably gonna need to be machined.
So she is hurt. She down bad right now. Engine will have to go somewhere besides our barn to be repaired. She's got to go spend some time in the surgery room. We dumped some water in there so it's above the level here and found out we have a leak. So I kind of wondered, I was turning that thing with a wrench and I felt a crack and I think I might have cracked that plastic piece, but it's good enough now to test. So turn our valve on, which is this way. So now water's flowing through here. This thing's a self-priming pump, so I think I just need to hook it up to 12 volt now and it'll suck water in and pressurize the system. Let's find out. A little 12 volt battery here. Oh, cool. Now, do I have any leaks? Oh, it's still pressurizing. Holy cow. Okay, chill, chill, chill. So it's supposed to turn off when it gets full pressure and it's not. I wonder if it's because there's water or there's air in the line. Let's get the air out. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, perfect. So it turned off. So now when I turn this on, it turns the pump on. Dude, how good is that? All right, now the question is, once I put a hose on this thing, is there still gonna be enough pressure to spray water? I have a hose, let's find out. Brand new water hose. I totally forgot to get one that doesn't kink. This thing I can tell is already gonna be one of those water hoses. It's always kinked and stupid. This is 50 feet, which should reach all over our entire range. So the question is, will it have power to spray after going through? Oh, this hose is the worst. It's already kinked up. Okay, let's turn it on, see what happens. Filling the hose right now. This is cool. Kind of thought there'd be water coming out. Here it comes. Oh yeah, dude. This is great. Sweet. This is awesome. Save the water, you know? Cool. So it's still running, but as soon as I turn the... Yeah, that's so cool. So it has a switch, so whenever the pressure drops, because I open this, so this pressure, this theoretically has like 70 PSI in it. When that drops, it goes, oh, and it turns on, starts running. I was worried about that thin line feeding it, but I think it's great. It also says apparently it can run dry. I don't know if it turns itself off or if it just runs, but it apparently can run dry and not hurt itself, which is good. I was worried about that pump being too small or too loud, but it's not loud at all. This is great. This is phase 1. I did it very temporary, as you can see. So I need to put gutters up here and then have that drain somehow into this tank to fill it when it rains. I also do eventually want that pipe running underground right there. I think it'd look a lot better. And we don't need a hose in the back. Everyone knows Matt's words of advice for the day is you don't need a hose in the back. You want the hose in the front. We also might, see that wall over there, right behind Pigeon? We also might put a wall here because that would totally block that thing, which I think is kind of ugly. I don't think it really matters, but probably look nicer if that was blocked. Although it is loud under here when we do certain activities. But then we get this, if we had a wall here and put it right there on the wall, that's our little hose hangout. And the water is piped underground, comes up there to our little spigot. And then we have that there. And it's pretty much the best thing ever. I don't know why I was trying to pipe water down the hill. That was dumb. And you guys were like, hey Matt, that's dumb. Just get yourself a little 12-volt pump, dummy. So the plan is, that is running off a tiny little battery, which is great. But I'm thinking we get a bigger battery and a solar panel and rainwater collection off the roof, and we just have this thing that just works. We have water out here in the middle of nowhere, and it's gonna be the best thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. This leaky rainwater collector and a crimpy water hose. Best day of my life. Oh, hey, Bill. How's it going? How many PSI you got on your water hose? 50. Oh, that's nice. That's cute. Nice. That's a good amount. Oh, me, I've got 70. Yeah, 70 PSI. It's a lot of power. Barely can hold my thumb on it. I know, it's nice. Yeah, hey, Bill, this is just part 1, though. If you want to see part 2, I'm going to be putting gutters up. It's probably going to be the sickest YouTube video the internet's ever seen. So, just guys, come on back. Bill, come, you can check it out. Part 2 with gutters. I'm just going to be installing gutters. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole plan. Thanks. All right, thanks for watching. Bill, I'll see you later. I love you. I'll see you next time. I'm on fire!
Oh. Hey, what camera is that? Number...
Shut up! Don't tell Mare.